Breaking news in the ongoing story of Obama's forged birth certificate. Obama's fake, phony ID from Hawaii. The first time Obama was elected, folks said, hey, where's his birth certificate? Before the second time he got elected, Arpaio and Zullo of Maricopa County Sheriff's Office held 2 press conferences saying, hey, you probably shouldn't elect this guy again because his birth certificate is a 9-layer digital forgery. It's a 9-layer PDF file. And you can take apart the layers, and everybody downloaded it off the White House website and said, hey, the sheriff's correct. It's a 9-layer forgery. How did the prostitutes react? Well, CIA told them to point the finger at Sheriff Arpaio, accuse him of hating the president, and ignore the forged birth certificate. So that's what the media did. Now, we've just finished the 2016 presidential election, and in the 2016 elections, Sheriff Arpaio lost his re-election bid for sheriff. So he's out as sheriff at the end of 2016. But before he leaves office, they have announced one more press conference coming to explain and blow the lid off Obama's fake ID. There's Zullo. Now, I'm about to play you a breaking radio segment from Pastor Carl Gallups regarding the upcoming Obama fraud revelations, the upcoming press conference before the end of 2016. You can tune in to Freedom Friday every Friday from 5 to 7 Eastern, and also subscribe to my channel, Barry Sotoro. Here's the late breaking segment.
Well, the bottom line is, you know that Sheriff Joe Arpaio lost his bid for a 7th term in office as Maricopa County. 6 terms is a record for the state of Arizona. Never have they had that in Maricopa County. But so his last day is January 1st. In the meantime, I've been having Mike Zullo on radio here on WEBY and the PNN live stream on the internet, which reaches around the world as well. And he's been telling us that it's getting ready to close it down. It's all in. Everything's been brought to a conclusion, although there's still many rabbit holes that were opened in this thing. It was horrendous. And the bottom line is, Mike Zullo made the announcement on the PNN live stream radio just last week, I think it was, maybe, or the week before. Anyway, you can go to carlgallups.com, and on the landing page, you'll see it. It's an hour-and-a-half interview, but you can, all of it, I think, is interesting, but you can skip through any part you want and just hear what's said. But the bottom line is this. Before January 1st, because that's when Arpaio leaves office, Arpaio and Zullo have announced that they are going to do a national press conference. They are going to make a full report of the gist of what it is that they have uncovered. And I can just tell you that for all of you who've been waiting with bated breath, you will be vindicated. The document on the White House website has now been 1,000% proven to be an absolute criminally fabricated forgery. Now that's huge, because somebody associated with the White House fabricated a document and a forgery and passed it as the identifying document of the man who has been, quote, as Valerie Jarrett said, ruling for the last 8 years, who has been commander-in-chief, who has opened our borders, who has weakened our military, who has stirred up the Middle East, created ISIS, if you will, in Arab Spring. And the only identifying document he's ever presented is a criminally manufactured forgery. Yeah. And that is the bottom line of what's going to be presented, but there's other stuff too. So we'll keep you posted on exactly when, where, and how that's going to happen, and how you can see it either live and or after the fact, the archives of it, but we'll keep you posted on. But it is getting ready to happen. And at the very least, people say, well, what difference does it make now? Well, okay, please don't sound like Hillary Clinton and Benghazi. Please don't sound like that. What do you mean, what difference does it make now? It makes a lot of difference, and we'll talk about that later, but I don't want to take the whole program. But the bottom line is, Mike, the people who have known that something stunk to high heaven about all this, you are getting ready to be vindicated. As I've been telling you all along, we've taken heat from the Obots and the naysayers and the liberals and the media, which is now we know with Let me just ask you, folks, with WikiLeaks revelation, do you now have any doubt that this could have happened? You know, even those of you that were skeptical in the beginning, even though I was telling you based upon what I knew but couldn't talk about and couldn't release, I was promising you, and I've never come on this radio station, Mike, neither of you, neither is anybody that works down here, but you and I have never come on here and just lied to people about things. We've never just led people on to mess with people for 8 years. You know, the White House has done that. The media has done that. You and I have never done that. Have we made mistakes along the way? Sure. But we get them right. We admit them. We talk about them. We examine them. But I've been telling you for years, because of stuff that I knew and information I was privy to, that this thing was fake. And there's a reason for that, Mike. Before I hush, I want to present this to our listeners. Mike, think about this. Now, you think about this too. So let's just take my word for it that the document is 100% fabricated fake, okay? Criminally fabricated. That's the thing, criminally fabricated. I mean, they have the proof that this thing was piecemeal together, a little thing from here, a little piece from here, put together here, manufactured this background here, manufactured this information here, cut and pasted it, put it over here, then ran it through equipment to try to hide its metadata and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's criminal activity. If you did that with your identifying documents and tried to pass that off so that you could be the commander-in-chief or whatever, I mean, brother, can you get a job with the FBI, let's say, you handed them a document like that, and you went in and you became an FBI agent and started arresting people, and then they found out later that everything you gave them was manufactured, pieced together. But that's criminal. You understand the importance of this. You know, what difference does it make? All right. But think about this. Now, let's just take my word for it that it is 1,000% criminally manufactured, fabricated. Okay. Now, here's the next question. Why? Okay. There are no good answers to that question. I mean, you could say, well, it's because he didn't have a real birth certificate. Well, that's a bad answer. The other one was, well, there's something on the other birth certificate he didn't want to be able to say he was embarrassed. Well, that's a bad answer. So you committed a crime to cover up something that was embarrassing. Somebody could say, well, he does have a birth certificate, but he was just jerking around the conspiracy theorists and the American public for 8 years just because he could. By committing a criminal act?
Yeah, it's kind of reckless.
And the president would jerk around the American people for 8 years? Really? That's not a good answer. So now I ask this question. Here we go. Somebody please call this radio station and name for me the governor who has signed an affidavit and gone on record saying, I will lay my job and my future on the line. He was born in my state. I know it. I know it 1,000%. I can prove it. And you're a bunch of conspiracy theory idiots. Somebody please name that governor. By the way, he doesn't exist, or she. All right. Somebody please name a congressman, any congressman, Democrat, Republican, senator, or House of Representatives, a congressman. Name any congressperson who will sign an affidavit or who has signed an affidavit who will lay their career on the line before the world in the media and say, I can swear to you he was born in the United States. I can promise you. I've got the information. Here it is. Excuse me, that congressman doesn't exist. Can somebody please name for me the hospital where the administrators will sign affidavits, lay their careers on the line, lay their hospital on the line, and say, he was born here, we have the records, we can prove it, we know the doctor that delivered him, we know the attendants, we've got all the records here, this is where he was born. That hospital does not exist. Can you name anywhere in the nation, where a Department of Health executive director has signed an affidavit or will sign an affidavit or will lay their entire future on the line under penalty of going to prison if they're lying? We have the records. Here they are. I promise you. Let me present them. I will sign an affidavit. I swear to you, we have his original microfilm and hard paper with raised seal records here. That person does not exist. Now, I got to ask you, how weird is that? America's first black president, Nobel Peace Prize winner, 2 terms, and none of those people exist, and the document is a fake. Okay, so draw your own conclusions, folks. But anyway, this conference is coming up soon, and it will be revealed to the nation.
All right, and we're a little bit past our break, Brother Carl, so we've got to
you should have made that.
So, will we see Obama in prison orange? Well, Stay tuned for the press conference. Stay tuned to my channel for full coverage of this ongoing, unfolding saga. Subscribe to Barry Sotoro channel. Share this segment. Alert your friends. For my personal theory on who Obama might be, where he came from, how and when they will vanish Obama, check out my video here, Obama Fake President. Link is below for my personal theory. Will we see Obama in prison? Will he be brought to justice for forging a Hawaii birth certificate? Time will tell. Subscribe and stay tuned for the December 2016 Obama fraud press conference.